Hello fellas, Cinephiles, Film Guru here. Today I'm reviewing 21 Bridges. This was directed by Brian Kirk and stars Chadwick Boseman, Sienna Miller, J.K. Simmons, Stephen James and Taylor Ketch. The film really follows Andre Davis, played by Chadwick Boseman, NYPD police detective, who has his reputation of killing cop killers. And it all started with the death of his father when he was 13 years of age. He's brought onto a particular case where two men have killed 7 police officers. He's part of a manhunt for the pair. And it's ultimately up to him to try and bring these guys in before the other cops find justice for the death of their fellow police officers. Look, I was impressed with this. I heard good and bad things about this, mostly bad. I really like the story. I think it's well written and put together. There's not a scene or a character or anything wasted. It all adds to the plot, all adds to the story that the filmmaker is telling. Each shot and sequence works. The action sequences are very well put together and keep you on the edge of your seat. There's a momentum in this film. It keeps moving no matter what happens. And I like that. It gives you moments to breathe, but it's really about Andre Davis's character just trying to work out what's going on. And we follow him throughout the whole film. And there's a lot of twists and turns along the way. They do spend time with 2 criminals who ultimately killed the 7 cops, and we get to see who they are and where they came from. It was really good to see Sienna Miller again. I haven't seen her in a film for quite a while, and I think she does a really solid job here. Playing sort of DEA sort of agent who's working for the cops, and he's ultimately partnered with Chadwick Boseman's character, Andre Davis. And it's really about these 2 cops trying to get to the bottom of what's going on and trying to stop these 2 criminals from leaving the island. And the reason it's called 21 Bridges is they shut down all 21 bridges leading into the city and closing off Manhattan to do this city-wide manhunt to find these 2 particular criminals. It is a film that, you know, in a way is a little bit by numbers, and it is stuff we've seen before, but I still really enjoyed it. There was a connection to it. There was something about it. I think it was the way that it moved. It moved really fast. And like I said, nothing was wasted. Everything served a purpose towards the story, which I really liked, and it's very rare to see in these sort of films these days to do this, especially in an action thriller film and a cop movie like this. But the real standout here, and the thing that is the driving force and that draws me to the film, is Chadwick Boseman. He's fantastic in this. He's an actor who's sort of been growing on me. I've seen him play a variety of roles, such as James Brown and ultimately recently Black Panther, which I thought he was solid in. But this feels more suited to him. And he really shines in this as Andre Davis. He's a character we can really get behind. He's a character who has a code, who he lives by a particular code. He doesn't punish anybody who doesn't sort of deserve it, ultimately. They call him someone who kills cop killers. But I think there's much more to him than that. There's a real depth going on here. And it's because of Chadwick's performance. He gives such depth and gravity to this particular character that it's just really well orchestrated and put together. And he's a character that's just fascinating to watch. And what's really great about this here is, as the character, you can see him working things out. He doesn't have to say everything, he doesn't have to explain everything, but we see it all on his face. They show him looking at something, then we see what he's looking at. There's this great element to that I think is lost on a lot of filmmakers these days. They try and tell you everything in exposition scenes rather than showing you. And we start to put together as they start to put it together. And I think this is a great example of that. It's just a tight-knit, well-written film that is just a great, fun ride. There are twists and turns in the film, and some of them feel a little cliched or a little, we've seen this before, but then they take it in a little bit more of a different direction. I picked a lot of what was going to happen and what was happening within the story, but that was okay because it was the journey that I went on with this character. I think the 2 actors that play the sort of criminals, the cop killers as they're called, they're played by Taylor Ketch and Stephen James. They do a really solid job. I like the fact that there's a timer set. The FBI give them 4 hours to ultimately catch these guys, and if they can't, then the FBI are going to take over the case. And I think that adds to the suspense and the real thriller moment, because you really want them to get there. They really want them to find these guys and to bring this all to a close earlier than the FBI can come in and take the case away from them. It kept you on the edge of your seat. It kept you thinking this film. It kept you trying to work out what's going on as the characters work out what's going on, and I really like that. I like movies like this. I want to see more of these sort of things because I think they're really well put together. They're simple, they're basic, and they tell a great story. Final thoughts. At the heart of it, it asks many questions, and I think it asks a lot of Chadwick Boseman's character, Andre Davis. His father was killed when he was young, and he was determined to stop bad guys from doing bad things. He doesn't shoot people for no reason. he acts in accordance with his code and what that person does towards him. He's always seeking the truth, and you see that much more in the third act of this film than anywhere else in the movie. He's just a character that's kind of has a bit of depth and is conflicted about things. He just wants the truth, no matter what it is and no matter what it costs him or the people around him. And I really respect that. And I think this is one of those great characters that's created that Chadwick's just fantastic playing. I'm going to give 21 Bridges 3.5 out of 5. I thought it was solid and interesting and fun. I had a good time with it. And it was just a well-told little thriller that I got a lot out of. Anyway, that's all from me today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please hit subscribe down the bottom. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Otherwise, until next time, enjoy the movies.